Hello folks, well, welcome back for another video. This one's a Tundra video. I've done a few on this truck so far, but not a lot. But today is going to be a video that I've never done before. I've actually never done this sort of video. A lot of people do. I've never done one. But I'll say like my five biggest or five most dislikes or whatever of the truck. I think there's probably five. There will be in no order whatsoever, but the first one is going to be the biggest dislike that I have, the most annoying one that I have for this truck. So let's just jump right into it. So for folks watching for the first time, this is my 2024 Toyota, better say that right, Toyota, not Toyota, Toyota Tundra SR5 TRD Offroad. This has the 6.5 foot bed, the standard engine, so non-hybrid, which that's one of my biggest likes, to be honest, which you'll understand why in a minute. I've had this now since December or January, and I've already have just under 15,000 kilometers on it, so it's been driven a lot. This is a work truck for me. It's not set up as a work truck yet. I still have to get the slip tank on back. This thing has to get a little bit taller, and it's got to get some better tires on it, which I'll get into that later as well. But anyway, let's jump right into my first dislike, and it is the biggest dislike that I have, if I can find my keys. The biggest dislike that I have, and it is with all Toyotas as far as I know, Toyotas. I've owned two 4Runners, and I owned a 2007 Tundra, but that had an aftermarket remote start system on it that worked fantastic. The remote start on these things is absolutely ridiculous. So let's see if I can get it to work first off. So now it's locked, so let's do the sequence. Nope. So you gotta lock it. You gotta press lock twice, and then the third lock, you hold it. There. That time it worked. It actually worked. It works if you're within 25-30 feet of it. If you're standing, if I was standing over at that pile of dirt over there, it wouldn't work. It won't even lock the truck most of the time. So now the truck is started. So I want to go up to it. I want to jump in the truck. I want to press the start button and drive away. And what I mean by that is the truck stays running, the heater stays going, you know, all that sort of stuff should happen, right? So let's come up, let's get in it. Stops. So now I gotta get in and start it. Instead of it just running, continuously running, it stops. Or maybe I wanted to open the door and put some stuff in and then go back in the house and grab some stuff and leave it running. Nope, can't do that. In this truck you cannot do that. Now the app actually works quite well. So we can go into the app, bring it up here. Okay, so we'll lock the truck. Okay, locked. So now let's start it. The app works great, but the key fob is absolutely bonkers. I don't know how else to explain it. It makes no sense why it's so hard to get it to work, and then why it shuts off. Doesn't make sense to me. So now let's jump on to number two. So number two, again, this is a work truck, so it's extremely dirty, so don't mind that. Number 2 is a positive and a negative. So, the back seats. I come from mainly Fords. So 2014 and up, Ford. I owned one F-150 and then a bunch of Super Duties. I've owned a new Chev 2500, and some Rams. So the Rams, it's kind of similar to this. When you fold the seat up, you have this under seat storage here that's solid, but the Ram have a thing that you fold down and you get like a flat floor that's raised. The Fords and the Chevs, both, you fold this seat up, you've got a full flat floor underneath. No transmission hump in the middle, flat floor, which is great for me. I have 2 huge dogs. I fold this up, it's flat. They climb in, I've got blankets down to cover the seats and all that stuff, and away we go, and away we go. With this truck, no. So this has the most solid and obnoxious under seat storage I've ever seen. Look how thick this is. Like, it's thick, but it's flimsy. But it's thick. Like, it comes way out to here. I love it because you can see, usually I have booster cables in here, but I've got everything in here. I got marking tape, I've got an air compressor, I've got a digital RPM gauge, some hammers, some jackets, spray cans, you know, all kinds of stuff. I can put my strong arm and my wrenches underneath here. I can put my long measuring tape, my standard measuring tape, my gloves. I can even maybe even put my sockets underneath here and still get the seat down. Let's see. Yeah, I have to move the sockets in this case. But, so it's nice that way, but it is not nice that I don't have a flat floor here. So I will need to build something so that sits on this and comes out and has like some legs that come down in order to put my dogs in here, or you want to put like lay a TV or something down in here. So I like this and dislike this at the same time. I more dislike it because in the Fords they have the fold out thing where you can put stuff in. It's not as good as this, but it's an option, and you don't have that huge transmission hump in the middle, which drives me crazy. Like, come on, why can Ford and Chev do it and the new Rams 1500s do it, but Toyota comes out with this brand new truck, they can't do it? So I guess that's number 2. Number 3 is going to be this bed. So it's cool that they have these places where you can put 2x6 or whatever across here, and you can divide stuff. So if you wanted to put it here and then close tailgate, you only got this space here for stuff to move around. They have it in the front too. They got some tie down points, which are cool. But this bed, hence the reason why this is here, this bed, if you don't have things strapped down, which I'm just leaving the cottage here right now, I'm going for a jug of fuel, so I will have to strap that jug down. Everything just slides around here like you're going down a ski hill. It is crazy how slippery this composite is. So the fix for that is they offer a bed mat, which is great. It's custom built, cut it around the wheel wells, all that stuff. That's awesome. That's wicked. But I've been waiting for one since December, and it still hasn't arrived. So my options are limited. I want to wait until I get that to put my slip tank on, so I'm not taking my slip tank back off to put the bed mat back in. So it's holding me back. So the bed, I think I'm gonna have 6 things here, but I'm gonna label the video 5, because the next one is a minor dislike, but it just makes no sense to me. So this is their TRD Offroad. It's an SR5, so it's more of, you know, a work truck, right? So you've got a big manly shifter here. You've got nice hard physical buttons here, or you know, physical buttons, big switch gear everywhere. And then you get this. Like, look how ridiculous I look turning this. Like, I feel ridiculous in this truck, especially once you get the bigger tires and stuff on it, and my slip tank. I feel ridiculous doing this. Oh, look at that. Turn the volume up, turn the volume down. I actually pretty much refuse to use that, and I use this instead. Some other little minor dislikes are the piano black in here, which is scratched up already. I think that's about it for the interior. I actually like the interior, the layout of it. There is some wind noise that comes through here somewhere. The rubber here is pretty soft. Like, there's not much strength to this rubber. I think they're coming out with a fix for that. I know TRD John, he got his fix. He did it himself. Other than that, for the inside, I really don't mind it at all. It's a pretty comfortable place to be. I don't like how, it's not a major thing, but I don't like how you have to have the truck in 4-wheel low in order to use your locking rear diff. Again, coming from the Fords, you can use that in 4 high. I think you can actually use it in 2-wheel drive, and you can lock your rear diff. And this, it has to be in 4 low in order for this to engage, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But for the rest of the stuff, let's hit the road. So the drivetrain, I'm gonna make a video, obviously, talking about my 5 favorite things, which will probably end up being 10 favorite things, which seems like this is turning into 7 to 8 dislikes. Anyway, so the drivetrain I like and I dislike at the same time. So the fuel mileage is better than the 5.7, but not as good as what I was hoping for, that's for sure. And anyone that you watch doing MPG tests with these trucks, especially comparing them to the other twin turbo truck on the market, which would be the F-150. The F-150 seems to be quite a bit easier on fuel than what these trucks are. And the F-150, you know, it's been around, that EcoBoost has been around for, geez, gotta be 10 years or more now. So you would think this new technology that the Toyota would be better, but it's not. The EcoBoost is still better on fuel. But this thing has loads of power. It pulls really strong, it shifts really smooth. All those things are positives. But what I find is when you're at a stop and you want to get moving, this thing will rev up to like 2,000 RPM. So it's making a bunch of noise and the engine is turning, but it doesn't really move. It doesn't seem like it wants to move until you put some more foot into it, or the turbos actually kick in and spool up. I want to see if I can capture this here. Yeah, look, like way up above 2,000 RPM, and the truck does, like, so I'm used to driving diesels, and diesels, they just chug along, right? Like, they just chug. You don't gotta worry about any of that. And then the only other gas truck that I've owned in the last 7 or 8 years was naturally aspirated, so it's pretty much instant fuel injection, boom, off the line, and away it goes. So that's one thing that I find about this powertrain that they could do better. It could be tuning. A throttle enhancer might do the trick, but that's one thing that I find is that this truck has to work pretty hard in order for it to get moving, which seems a bit odd. But I've talked to a couple other guys and they've sort of said the same thing. So here's one thing that I certainly dislike about this truck. It is really barely snowing out. Yes, it's a wet snow, but it's not snowing hard at all. And look, the second you get any flurries at all, the sensor in the front doesn't work, and it gives you that message. So then you reset it and it should go away, right? It does. For that long, and then it comes back. You know how annoying that is? Like, I don't care about that. I'd rather see my speedometer or my fuel mileage or whatever else. I don't want to continue to have to stare at that until I get out and clean off the sensor, and then within 3 minutes that message is back up again. And usually it actually puts off a whole bunch of other lights other than this one. But that light there, that low tire pressure light, yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. So I think that's pretty much gonna wrap up the video, I guess. And that video from the other day when it was snowing, or that video when it was snowing, that was actually, today is Saturday, that was Thursday. So we had a snowstorm in April, and then that when the carbon tax increase kicked in on April 1st, that the weather was gonna be perfect. According to Justin Trudeau, the tax fixes everything. But anyway, folks, that's gonna do it. So hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you then.